The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. Brought to you by Nadex. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Tom and Tommy O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. Tommy O'Brien. It's July 3rd, and I am fortunate enough today to be joined by our man Basil Chapman as Tom is on vacation coming into the 4th. Basil, good morning. Happy almost July 4th.
And the same to you. I'm not sure how happy it is for me. It was everything was topsy-turvy. You know how when suddenly in the morning, if there's something that doesn't go quite right, then a whole bunch of things snowball. It's kind of what happened here.
I heard you were scrambling a little bit, but you know what? You nailed it. That was a great update. I was sitting here getting ready for the show, listening to it. So we have quite a little market this morning. Dow Jones up 152, S&P at 2437, up about 14, NASDAQ up 22. You have the banks doing well this morning, Basil. You have the financials with Goldman Sachs. Take a quick look. Up, I believe, like 2 points. Yeah, 2 points, up over 1%, 224.38. And, of course, some action in gold. Gold down $14 at $12.27, a low of $12.24. Gold down 1.1%, but silver as well. Silver down 35 cents to $16.28, down over 2%. So, Basil, what are you looking at this morning yourself? How about some of this market action coming into what could have been an easy, slow half day of nothing? You know?
Absolutely. So what happened over the weekend, here I am looking at these charts, and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, I've got to have another look at that volatility index, because the reading on Thursday, regardless of the whys, wheres, or wherefores, or whatever, it was high. It was very high. And what I did is I showed my subscribers to my opening call that there've been very few, when you look at the number of days on the VIX, and then you look at the number of times that the volatility index screams up towards the 200-period exponential moving average and then fails, that's a very high number. And I'm showing the chart right here. And what's very interesting about it is that Friday, the close of the VIX index, this is something that we were talking about when we have the 10 o'clock show together. I was saying that the volatility index is very interesting because it spiked extremely high, but it hadn't really come down sharply at 10 o'clock when we were talking. And then during my show, I mentioned that there were parameters I'd be looking at to see if the Friday close would be above the 9-period moving average, where it would be. And it turned out that on the weekly chart, yes, it did close quite well. But the fact that if you look at each one of these, they call shadows, the leg of the price movement of whatever time period, in this case it's a daily chart,
sure.
And you'll see how many times it hit this bluish green line right here and then plummeted. And that's really that's what I discussed for my subscribers, to say if there is a pullback in the volatility index, we have to be prepared for a couple of things. And what I was talking about is if we look at the weekly chart, I'm not able right now. I could, but I might have a problem switching over to the different time frame. But if you look at the weekly charts of the Dow and the S&P, it was very impressive. They didn't close below the 9-period moving average all of last week, and certainly not on Friday afternoon. And that said to me, I still have to call this a consolidation with sector rotation. And what's interesting is that the QQQs, that's the NASDAQ 100 trading vehicle, the power shares, did close poorly. And even today, they're only up 0.2%. And you've got much better percentages in the S&P and the Dow. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, the rotation is continuing. It's a light session. You can say you can't give much weight to a light session, but price is price. And that's, as far as I'm concerned, the price is the arbiter of a trend. And if you get a really big move like right now, let me just double check. Yeah, the Dow is up over 150 points. That is good action. And not only that, in a bear phase, what you want is the S&P to open weak every day, try to rally, and then close at the low end of the range at the end of the day, and then repeat the process. We don't have that right now. We have a very choppy, wild, yo-yo type market, but essentially sideways to lower in some cases, like the QQQ and the SMHs. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking to see where do we close and what do we do on the first two real trading days of the week. That'll be Wednesday and Thursday.
Hey, this could turn out to be the realest of all trading days if we're down 150 with, 1 o'clock is the close today. So we've got 2 hours, 45 minutes. That's a long time to be up 150. We could be up 200. We could be up 250 in no time, it feels like, 4
and unless there's bad news, I don't see what could give the rug pull. That's what you really look for. If you're looking for the bearish side, you want to see anything, just the blink of an eye. And all of a sudden, even Friday, we saw there was just that sudden whoosh to the downside, yet the S&P and the Dow still remain very strong. And what I'm really interested in is that the TLT, trading at 124.42, that's saying to me that yes, there is a down move, that bond yields are going higher, but we really haven't broken the trend yet on the weekly chart. This is going to be interesting.
Because that was a big week last week for those bonds, for sure.
Yes.
We got big moves in golds, big moves in silver, commodities, bonds, dollar, and the markets. Come on back, folks. Dow's up 150. We'll be right back.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. We take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. Basil Chapman, Tommy O'Brien, Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. We got a shortened session of trading on July 3rd. We got markets positive. Dow Jones up now 158, S&P up 15, NASDAQ up 20, and that VIX hovering around the $10.50 mark. And Tesla getting some good action, up 7 points today, almost 2%. A lot of news on Tesla about their Model 3, which is coming to begin production this week. And the Model 3, is there more affordable? Maybe, is it 35,000, 45,000, somewhere in that range, correct, Basil?
That's what they've said. From what I've read, they're anticipating that most people will not actually pay that 35 with the add-ons and the different things. That's
sure, just like nobody pays the price on the ads that run on television, same difference.
Right,
sure.
That's right. And but what's really important is that Elon Musk has really kept up the pace of trying to push for being the premier electric car company in price ranges that you wouldn't have thought was possible for the kind of quality that they're at least attempting to do.
Sure. And this is their big first foray into the mass market of no longer just the $100,000 vehicle to the select few that can afford it, because it's, of course you can produce a quality car at $100,000, hopefully. The question is, can you produce that kind of value at $45,000?
Well, two things are going on. One is it really has to do, I think when you get into the 35,000, 40,000 area, I think the functionality of going over 200 and maybe probably 250 at minimum for your battery before being recharged, I think that's going to become more important.
Sure, and that's part of their biggest battle is the battery life and how that works and the cost, and the able to produce that amount of batteries in mass quantity is a big battle for them to conquer.
And when you think of it, that he's really using the automobile as a huge experiment in the battery area. Because what is it all about? I mean, even from your cell phone or from
you could argue
computer,
Tesla's a battery company. I mean, they bought a battery company, I believe, didn't they, at one point, just to increase their foray into that, because that was their battle, was that they couldn't acquire and have the ability to produce cars because they needed so many large batteries.
Yeah, there was a battery company right here, 123, I think it was 123 something or other, right here in Watertown at the Arsenal Mall. There's a little complex there, and I believe that they had the factory there. I'm not sure if it was the factory, but at least the headquarters was there. And then I think a Japanese company was going to take it over and it didn't. So I'm not sure if Tesla had anything to do with it. But it's a real tough business because the costs of experimentation to find everything, I think it must be very expensive. And at the same time, you don't know who's out there with the leapfrog technology. That's the whole thing about this. You're putting in an incredible amount of money, and for all you know, there's this someone in a garage producing something that could be just leapfrog. That's it happens. And to think of the cable network, spend all that money on cable, and all of a sudden you've got wireless.
Right.
So we might find that with battery, that there's another way of doing it. So it's going to be fascinating to see where it goes to.
Yeah, at the same time, Tesla's market cap right now is $60 billion, $60.38 billion.
So
and
that makes each car worth what, $1 million?
Yeah, right. I mean, there's a lot of expectation built into that market cap, and when you think about, now they do have infrastructure, and that maybe the battery technology and those huge warehouses or production units that they have for the batteries, it's not like that's a replaceable technology. But man, they're in a tough sector in terms of every car company is competing for the electric vehicle, and to be valued. And let's just see what I'm curious what even GM right now is valued at. GM's at $54 billion. So is Tesla worth $60 billion versus a company like General Motors being worth $54 billion, right? That's. I know our man Dave White has some feelings on Tesla. He's talked about many times, right?
Well, there are a couple of things that are going on. If you think about it, for Tesla, it's always remarkable to find a startup, basically a fresh company. Even it doesn't matter how many years. I'm talking about a startup because General Motors goes back to the turn of the last century.
I think they're a startup too when you factor in that they're not even making money, right? And they're still just kind of raising money. So
it's all speculation. But that doesn't mean to say one couldn't buy it and make money. I'm just saying if you talk about valuation, there are different metrics that you have to. This is the thing about fundamental analysis. You have to change your metrics at certain points, because when you're looking at a technology, or if you're looking at an Amazon that comes along and just recreates a whole environment, you don't even know, it wasn't even a sector that was around 10 years, well, no more than 10 years ago. And now it's not only a sector that is so important, the whole internet, the buying and using the internet, just as Tesla with the battery, it is stating very clearly that the 21st century, these are the companies of the 21st century. And that's really, I think, the way you have to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting is I lease a car right now. I lease a BMW, right? I'm about like a year into the lease. And I've said to myself that, so I have 2 years left in that lease. And at the end of that 2 years, I don't think I'm going to do that again, because technology is going to be changing too fast just to lease a regular gas vehicle for 3 years. In 2 years' time, I think that'll be a perfect time to kind of reevaluate. And even with Uber and that type of technology, but I already know that, and I can see it coming, right?
And not only that, look at the competition. You're talking about General Motors. Do you know that when I was at the show in Boston, the annual auto show, I made a big deal about General Motors, about Chevrolet in particular. And Chevrolet products, they're looking really nice.
Sure.
They're getting extremely good, much better write-ups. Buick, in fact, is getting some of the top write-ups in the American car industry. But what's really important is that the General Motors electric, what is that? The Volt, I think it's called.
Chevy Volt, yes.
They've got a Bolt and a Volt. That is very inexpensive.
Right.
And Tesla's going to have to compete with that. In price, they might do that, but when you do the add-ons and everything,
it's going to be time for me to buy something electric, or at least something electric, or because
a lot of people are thinking that
that's
way.
That's what and maybe BMW will have something in a couple years that'll be, I know they already have some type of all electric, but that's to the same degree as Tesla is, where it's some type of ultra premium $100,000 all electric vehicle. But if they have something, they can compete. But there's going to be great cars that are reliable, I think, within a couple of years that are all electric. Yeah.
And not only that, we might find that it's either a battery swap. You show up at the station, and all they do is they just exchange a battery.
Just like you exchange your propane tank for your grill, right? I mean, very similar.
You just slide it in, slide it out. That's the number one. Number two is that particular form of energy is going to be many different ways. You might find that it's remote, that on the highways they have these electric poles that regenerate energy in another 10 years' time.
Technology is changing faster than we can all keep track of it, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, VIX continuing down 1038 as the market climbs. Come on back, folks. Basil Chapman, Tommy O'Brien. We'll be right back.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien, Basil Chapman. It's 10:30 in the morning, and we have 2.5 hours left in the market, and the Dow is up 155 points, Basil, and gold is down 16 points, creeping below 1226 at this point. I'm going to jump over to the Nadex platform real quick. So, of course, if you're trading today at all, whether it's in Nadex or on the market, just be aware of the closing hours as these affect things. So the daily spreads on Nadex for gold, we're still looking at 130 on some of them as where the pit closes, but for the indices, etc., the daily is closing at 115, 15 minutes after the official market close at 1 o'clock. So just interesting, Basil, I was pulling up some of these binaries. So there's not much premium for a gold market that is really cascaded here, down, $16. So when I was pulling up this example a few minutes ago, we were trading at 1226. We have some of the binaries along the right-hand side here. We're trading at 1224.70 right now. And even at 1223, if you're selling a binary at 1223, you're looking at $1.68 below where the current market is. You'd be risking 30 to the upside, right, to make 70. It seems like $1.50 away from a binary option in the gold market right now. And of course, similar options to the upside. Same thing, 1226, you're buying at 29 to make, and these have 2 hours and 58 minutes left until expiration. That's a nice way to trade volatility right now. And as I was pulling up the example of 1226, the 1223s were offering, and we're almost going to be there by the time we finish talking about.
Wow!
Yeah,
look at that. Yeah.
And that is, regardless, a big move on gold. 1224. My dad Tom put out his gold report this morning, and there's stops in there, of course, and he was saying, maybe sometimes you could adjust some of the stops, but really gold needs to show some strength because, man, it's been a cascade down.
And it took out that left side low, that H pattern, that lowercase h pattern. This is a very important moment. If it can close above the low that was made, I'm looking at your chart. I've got, for now, I've only got the GLD,
sure.
The daily chart, and it shows these arch formations.
Yes.
And if you drew a trend line, we gapped down below a trend line. But I was looking at yours. That was a 10-minute chart you were showing a moment ago.
Which one are we on, Nadex?
That was on the Nadex, yes.
These are 5 minutes.
Those are 5 minutes.
Nice.
So
So
what I
you're
was
talking
going to
about
say
this
to you-
H right here, Basil?
And look at the left side low bar.
Right here, sure.
Right there, yep. So my rule of thumb is in the H formation, you have 2. You could maybe make it 3, but 2 is really the maximum where you want to see a close below the left side low. And if it does that, it could have a bounce, and then that bounce would take you to the next highest point, which would be that little peak within 4 bars ago. But that's very high. So this is going to be very important, because in this 10-minute bar, if there's a close below that low, it suggests that you've got to be very careful, because at the end of the day, if there's a close below that low, it suggests that on the following session, that would be Wednesday, you could have another dip to the downside. And the further away you go from the low to the downside, the greater it becomes a resistance point. And if you're able to close above it, if the contract is able to close above it, it says, great, now you can make that lowercase h that goes to a lowercase m formation. To be very bullish, you'd have to have I can't see, you don't have a MACD or stochastic.
No.
But if they were to turn up sharply with a close above that left side low, then I say, okay, good, now you can get a bounce. But this is not good. And I'm looking at the dollar. That means that the euro is very weak right now. The dollar is up very sharply. And at this particular point, to go to where it was on Thursday with that very big spike and breakdown, and then to try to fill that gap, in a sense, is a very big positive for the dollar on the shorter term. So that's not good for gold.
Yeah, no, I mean, jumping back real quick, it's been quite a trend even since, we're looking at 10 o'clock last night. We were as high as 1240, and it's been kind of a straight run down, except for that little peak within that H that you describe, almost as the only blip that we had at about coming in 9:45 till 10 o'clock this morning, and then back down till 12:24.38, and we're below that level now, and it's not stopping. We've just come down since 10 o'clock, since we began this show, another $4 in the price of gold, which is And with 3 hours left, that's really the thing that's a lot of time with that big of a move.
Do you have the current price of crude oil?
What's that?
Do you have the current price of crude oil? I want to be able to put the relationship of crude oil, because the dollar's running sharply. If crude oil is actually up, and
crude oil is having a good day. Crude's at 46.73.
So this is the 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is the 7th day that crude has managed to have a green candle if it closes higher.
Yeah, no, quite a move. I mean, quite the reverse from looking at gold. You go back to, 10 o'clock last night, we're trading at about 46. You go back to 6 in the morning, we were below 46, and it's been a straight shot up to about 46.71 since then.
So that's suggesting a couple of things right now. It's suggesting that it's fascinating. Look, you've got crude oil up, you've got the dollar up, you've got the TLT down 87, so bonds are down with gold. So all of a sudden you've got this crazy mix going on.
Sure.
Gold
How
down,
does that all square, right?
Yeah, this is what I've been saying. That's what I said in the in that 10 o'clock update, that we've had a bunch of divergences that you don't usually see. And that says to me that we are in this digestive phase of the market in some of the areas. But what I did want to mention, since we were talking about Tesla and you mentioned General Motors, for my subscribers, we tried to buy General Motors on Friday, just missed it. And today it's up again. Today it's at 35.84.
Yeah.
If you're looking at this pattern, look, this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we're breaking key resistance.
Okay.
And that's very interesting in this environment right now, where we saw, at least briefly, yields were going higher. My contention is still that yields are not going to break out to the upside. They're just in this trading range. But at the same time, why is General Motors up like this? Why is Ford? What is Ford? Oh, it's unchanged. So is it a General Motors specific thing? Why is TM, which is Toyota Motors, is up quite sharply? This is a very interesting phase, because in the market, if we were to go into a bear phase right now, I'm not sure you would see General Motors acting as well as it is at this particular point. And I'm not even sure you'd see crude oil acting as well as it is right now, because it probably would be pulling back and you'd say, uh-oh, crude oil down, sign of economic weakness. So that's what I'm saying, that this is a sector rotation, and it's almost as if fund managers at this point are saying, we don't care about what's going on in the news media. We don't care what's going on in what is being said about the markets. We're only interested in what was weak that is showing strength, what was strong that is showing weakness. We're going to take some money out. That's what I'm thinking. But we're only going to put money into what's working right now. And I think that's the reason why anything that's had a good 2 days gets a good third day and a fourth day. And that's kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah, and it's not stopping. Dow 173 at 21,522. Dow 22,000. Wow. Here we come, Basil. Here we come.
That's incredible.
We'll be back in 3 minutes, folks. Come on back. We'll jump around this market, see what's going on.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Basil Chapman, Tommy O'Brien, Bull Bear Binary Option Hour on a shortened trading day on July 3rd. We got the Dow up 180 points now. S&P up 13, NASDAQ up 5. Dow really making a push. We got the Dow over here on the left side of the chart I'm looking at. And this is the September contract, so we're trading at 21,473. But you can see straight up since that 9:30 open. Let's see, we opened at 21,366, and we are already 110 points almost higher from that open. And gold continuing. I thought we were going to be below that 1223 mark by the time we came back from the break, Basil. We touched 1223.05, a nickel away, and 1223.10 as we talk about it right now. So lots of trading left today, which could be, seems like you should have some action for yourself at 11 a.m. to talk about, Basil.
It's going to be very interesting.
Not a dull market, for sure.
Not a dull market at all. And a couple of things are going on here. Look at the OIH. This is the Van Eck Vectors Oil Service ETF. It's very strong, and it's at 25.55. I've got it up 76 cents. But what's really important about this is it is just starting to go above this very important high that was made back. I just in this particular system, I got to find it. 25.67 on the 19th, and today's high so far is 25.59. So it's getting to test that. If it breaks above that candle of the, what did I say it was, the 19th, that's going to be very important, because it would suggest that it wants to test in the cup formation. It would want to test the highs that were made back on the 12th and the 13th in the 26.61 area. So
over a whole dollar from where it's trading at right now.
Yeah, and what's really important about this is that very often over the years, it isn't like it's a formula, but it is so often at a certain point. I even set it up in my other system whereby I had the USO, which is the United States Oil Fund, and the SPY on a 5-minute chart, just to show how often when crude oil moved higher, the general market moved higher. And there was another chart I had that showed the dollar and crude oil, and there was a period about a year or so ago where every time crude oil moved higher, it weakened the market. So this is, every time crude oil moved higher, it would be in counterpoint to the dollar. That's what I meant to say.
Sure.
And now what we're looking at is that the dollar is moving higher today, very sharply higher, and crude is also moving higher. So this is a market a little different to many other markets we've seen. And at the same time, the chart formations, they're the ones that just keep repeating. As you're looking at the cup formation that's occurred before in the USO, and this is the OIH. I'll go to the USO to show that one, and it would invariably fail. So that's going to be the big test in both the OIH, which is the oil, that's the market vector oil. Let me just get the exact title: Van Eck Vectors Oil Service ETF. And here's another thing. In the main, you'll often get crude oil and the oil sector, the different sectors, moving in concert. Not always, but they generally do. And right now, this is a sign to say, if oil keeps moving higher, how would it affect, I wonder if I can get it this way, the XAL, how would it affect the XAL airline index? And the airline index is also up. Isn't it interesting? Oil's up, airlines are up, you've got dollar up.
Sure, no, it all doesn't match up, and it's going to sort itself out, right? You say it'll take some time, but those relationships need to come into whack, as in when oil rebounds $3 or $4, airline stocks do not usually go with it.
Correct.
And, obviously in the bigger scale, dollar and how that affects bonds and in an extreme way, for sure. And it is...
What I was just going to say, what was on your focus this morning before you came in? I
wanted to see how gold was going to trade, because that was a big move. And what happens is the gold report comes out Monday morning, so I'm always looking at charts that are going on. Right. So I'm looking at that market. Silver was a big mover as well. We've been talking about gold, but silver looking at a bigger move percentage-wise, and silver usually does move bigger. With larger percentage, but same thing. Silver approaching their lows, 16.20, down 2.6% for the day, and gold 1.45% for the day right now. So that's what I was looking at, as to how that comes in and how those came into the fourth.
Right. So on the Nadex, did it just move quicker than you were ready to put on the trade?
Well, let's see where it is. for the premiums that were priced in there, and I didn't trade them, and yeah, we're below. We're 12.22.26, which is unfortunate that I didn't get to talk about it when it was at 12.26, but just really with the type of move we were getting and knowing that it was a move so early in the day and with the market having moves with it, that there would be a potential for some volatility here and for very, very little premium, even, within the binaries, and I was jumping around as well to some of the spreads. And when you jumped around to the spreads, let me get my bearing. I'm going commodities, spreads. There are my golds. I had them. For the dailies, you were paying very, very little premium to be trading these in a market that could have some volatility. And we're already down almost $4 since that example. I mean, when I was going to cite the example, I think you had the ability to sell the 1223 binary when it was trading at 1226. So you're not talking about trading up here. You're talking about when it was right next to it practically.
Right.
I think you could sell it for 85, so it was about risking 15 to make 85. And I just felt that gold could have some action today for those types of low volatility, low premium type plays.
And within the context of the Nadex, you would have been looking at what time frame?
So these are dailies expiring at 1:30 today.
Okay.
Yeah, and
All
so
right.
that's why. I mean, with 3 hours, I was looking at plenty of time, and it actually, within the span of about 20 minutes, got to that price point. So, and this is where if you had sold it at 87, maybe you could take one contract off, get back, because you'd be, if you sold it at 85, you're risking 15. Right now, you could take it off the table for 50, or you could see if it cascades further. But not a lot of risk for a market that's trading,
Right. And within the Nadex platform itself, the dollar, were you looking at anything else? Or
I
was
wasn't
just
looking at
gold?
them. I was jumping around to gold and silver. I know that they've been getting action. Of course, the currencies trade in here very well in terms of, the Forex market, being able to have defined risk when you're trading those markets is a much bigger asset than in trading gold, I would say. And I'm sure there are opportunities over there as well.
So I'm just looking at the EEM, which is the iShares MSCI Emerging Markets Index Fund ETF, and it's trading up a little. But it's very interesting that being a foreign market, I wonder if they're going to have a delay, because some of the markets at this point, I think some of them are about to close.
Okay.
I'm wondering if that by tomorrow when we're closed, if they have a bounce. It's going to be very interesting because it's really just sideways in the EEM.
Yeah.
And it hasn't broken out yet. Just it goes to 42.40.
Almost like 2 months, right? Since the beginning of May,
Yeah.
practically. Yeah, middle of May.
Which is very interesting because if you're looking at the Dow, the Dow I think just made it. The diamonds I think have just made a new all-time high.
Have they? We have. We're up almost. Are we up 200 points now? We are up 200 points. Quite a day,
Yes.
quite a morning. 200-point Dow, and we still have over 2 hours of trading left. Come on back, folks. 3 minutes. We'll be right back. Finish this up.
Trading is different than investing, but the opportunity to take advantage of short-term trends is only one if you get the direction right. Direction leveraged and inverse ETFs offer bold trades on U.S. and international stocks and bonds. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has put together the finest live programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 9 hours a day starting at 8 a.m. as John Logan kicks us off each trading day with the Global Market Pulse. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Mondays and Fridays, catch live trading on the Nadex platform with host Tom and Tommy O'Brien, along with Daryl Martin on the Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts, and keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN, educating investors. Catch Basil Chapman as he uses his Chapman Wave methodology to call the markets. The Tiger Technicians Hour, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. Basil Chapman, Tommy O'Brien, Bull Bear Binary Option Hour by Nadex. If you haven't tested out their platform, we have some volatility. Go out right to the front page, TFNN, hit that Nadex banner, check out that platform, get a demo account so you can see these markets trading. So the Dow's at all-time highs, Basil, and we have the Nasdaq flat with quite a little turnaround.
The S&P is not at an all-time high. One of the reasons is that the Dow has 5 financials in it.
Sure.
And the
look
XLF
at that Goldman
is doing very
Sachs,
well.
right? Goldman Sachs
Right.
up 2.5% alone. Yeah.
Yeah, and that I think is really helping, and that's one of the reasons why I've been talking about the Dow over the last, I think it's 8 months to a year, saying this is the first time that I'm looking in terms of market conditions that the Dow, in fact, fits the market scenario for what I call this coda phase. Best of all, it has what is the ingredient that's really needed to accelerate higher. I thought that it would take longer to make a new all-time high. It's done it today, and that, in a sense, changes the aspect in that the leading the 30 stocks, and everyone always jokes and says, how can you use 30 stocks to tell you about the market? Because the Dow is basically, when people talk about the market, they always talk about the Dow. That's what they talk about.
Sure, and they really just should talk about Goldman, because it's like it's such a price-weighted index. I say it almost seriously. You know, you have 6 points of movement in Goldman, and I love the chart that Tom pulls up with the Bloomberg, where you can see what price that actually adds to the Dow. And a price-weighted index seems almost contrary to statistical common sense of how you would do that in terms of why a stock trading at $227, a 5-point move matters more, when really it just matters market cap. You know, like cap-weighted indexes are a lot more. So Goldman, of course, up $6. That's a $6 move. That's going to be a substantial move, you know.
That's a really big help, absolutely. And not only that, Goldman has still a long way to go to its all-time high.
Sure. And
even the high that we were looking at on the, I keep having to look, on the 6th of, that was on the 6th of March, was 255.15.
Yes.
We've got 20 points to go.
Definitely. And we're going to run into some resistance kind of right at this 230 level if we creep up any higher. I mean, that's where we've been going all the way back to like middle of March almost, right after we cascaded down from that 255 mark.
But that cup formation we're looking at, if you're looking at this chart, you see there's a cup formation. That is very important. So the Goldman has to, over the next week, mustn't close under 220. If it keeps holding this 9-period moving average, what I call walking the 9-period moving average, the red line, that's going to be support. And that really goes to the story of this mixed market, the rotational aspect. And that's the reason why, for subscribers, we We do have one of the financial ETFs. We just missed getting the XLF, but they're both doing very, very well. And I think that this is a market where you must try your best to be independent of news. Look at the chart formations, and if something looks very positive, don't think, oh, this market, things that, the Nasdaq's pulling back and the Nasdaq led up. Think of it as, yes, you can go in, but put in a fairly tight stop, have your discipline, and let's see where it goes, because anything that's fighting the downtrend is acting well. That's the way I'm looking at it.
No, that's for sure. As we approach, all-time, what a way to come into July 4th, all-time highs. Got to love it, right?
Wow.
As we say.
And historically, this is usually a good day.
It is. We had talked about it, Tom and I, last week, and so it's not a coincidence, folks. Hoorah! Go America, buy the market. Basil, thank you so much for doing the show with me. I appreciate it. And folks, head on over to TFNN. Check out under newsletters, trading newsletters, the opening call. Get in there so you can see all Basil's great morning charts every morning as part of that service. Basil, have a great show. I'll be listening, and have a great 4th of July. Everyone out there, have a great 4th of July. Safe 4th of July. No drinking and driving. Take Uber. And we'll see you back on Wednesday. Thanks, Basil. We'll see you next hour.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This is TFNN.